Hello, it is February the 10th and it's time for my February garden tour. I am Dave with Organic Gardening in North Carolina, and if you are interested in growing nutrient-dense food in an urban environment, you are in the right place. Make sure that you're subscribed and click that bell so you don't miss anything. Alright, it is springtime. I just heard a goose. Did you hear that goose in the background? The birds are chirping. It's about 2 months to our average last frost here in North Carolina. And the garden is still pretty dormant, but there are some things growing, and I have some seeds started inside. I was wondering if you guys have seeds started inside, or you're getting ready to plant outside, what you are planning to plant this year, or what you already planted. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you're growing. I did start some seeds inside. I have a little grow room in my garage, and I started a flat of seeds. If you missed that video, I'll put a link to it in the end screens, and I'll also put a link to it in the description below. Alright, let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. Okay, here is the lower part of my garden where I normally start my tours. I did put some straw, pulled back some weeds and put some straw over some of my onions here. Excuse me, I also put some rabbit poop in there from the rabbit yard, and the straw is from the rabbit yard as well. I only did this little area though, so I still have to dig out those carrots. I'm pretty sure that is a turnip there, unless it's a daikon radish. I'm pretty sure that's a turnip because of how big the leaves are. Now that would be a daikon radish there, because you can see the radish, they like to pop up out of the soil. My pomegranate tree, hopefully that'll start growing well this year. I do have a few daikon radishes under here too that I have protected with that screen. This is my oldest, largest fig tree. Oh no, maybe, well, about my oldest, that I trimmed back pretty much because I hardly got any fruit from it last year. Let's see if trimming it back will help. There's a bunch of arugula over here that I planted from seeds that I saved. I can't walk by arugula without taking a bite. But I have it all along the edge here. I have some more onions over here. There's a peach tree that is a volunteer in the garden that I trimmed back quite a bit as well, which I don't even know if I will keep that peach tree, so we'll see if it gives me any peaches this year. If not, might just get rid of it. Here is the apple tree that I transplanted to this spot last year. I did prune that back a bit too, so it should be ready to take off. This is an apple tree that I planted from seed as well, which may or may not give a good apple. Probably the odds are that it will not give a good apple, but it will give some kind of apple. So looking forward to maybe getting some blooms and seeing if it'll give me some kind of apple this year. There's some, I guess just a red kale. Kale is hard to walk by without eating too, this time of year especially, because with the cold nights, it gives it a sweeter flavor. And here's some dinosaur kale. Here is my garlic. It is growing even through the cold of the winter. I have a little bed there, probably about 30 garlic plants right there. Here is a sorrel. We have sorrel that grows wild in our yard, which actually tastes pretty good. It has a little bit of a bitter taste. Almost like, not bitter, I meant to say sour. Almost like a lemon. Yeah, it's sort of like got a lemony sort of sour taste. Here's some cilantro. Did I mention I haven't had breakfast yet? Got quite a bit of cilantro coming up. It really does like the cold weather, which I don't understand how you think of cilantro as a Mexican crop, because it does not like the heat. It likes the cold weather to grow in. So it's hard to get cilantro growing at the same time that you have tomatoes and other things growing that you're going to make your salsa with. Probably should pick the cilantro now and put it in the freezer, and then just grab it from the freezer bag when I want to make salsa. Okay, here's something I did that I haven't done before, but Paul of the Back to Eden Garden fame does this. He covers his strawberries with wood chips. So I covered the strawberries with wood chips, and I put a lot of coffee grounds on top of that. So we'll see how that does. He says it helps the strongest strawberries will come up through and survive and thrive. So we'll see. Alright, here is some broccoli. That plant looks like it got a little cold. Here's some broccoli that's putting out some buds. Oh yeah, that'll be good to eat. There's a part of it that has some flowers on it when the flowers are ready. Here is my fall garden that I planted. This is arugula through here. Some onions here. Some carrots. Some radishes. Oh, it looks like we got a little daikon radish there too. And then here are some more arugula. I'm trying to move a little slower for this tour so you guys don't get dizzy. Here's some onions that are doing really well. Let me know how I'm doing on that, or if you'd rather have it fast. Here is some bloody dock. I use the bloody dock to make green eggs for my grandson. That's the only way he likes to eat them. And I did put some coffee grounds on top of there too. What do you guys think about coffee grounds? Because I get them from Starbucks, so they're not like organic coffee grounds. But they're free and they're supposed to have good nitrogen for your soil. But my wife saw me doing it yesterday and she's like, you know, coffee has a lot of bad chemicals in it, right? So I don't know. A lot of organic growers talk about going to Starbucks and getting coffee grounds. So is that something to be concerned about, or is it not something to be concerned about? I don't know. If anyone knows, go ahead and leave a comment. I do have some comfrey growing. Looks like it's not enjoying the cold weather though. That'll spring to life here soon. I even had some asparagus coming up already. I did eat a couple sprigs, and then some of it got cold and went back to dormancy. But there's a sprig right there. You can see right there. Oh, and there's some sprigs coming up over this way too. If you can see, it doesn't focus on my fence. Right there at the tip of my finger is a sprig. And there's some little sprigs coming up back there too. All through here is my asparagus bed. I'll show you my worm pit. My worm pit is buried under my pile of bedding that I had for the from the rabbits, and this bedding is composting, so it is actually putting out some heat. So I think the worms are liking that. They're coming to the top. And there's how I bury some of my kitchen trash, kitchen waste underneath here. But yeah, there's some worms right up at the top. See those worms there? They're enjoying that nice warm compost. Nice warm straw with the food scraps in it and everything. Put them back in so they'll be able to keep warm. These are red wigglers. Red wigglers is a variety of worm, like you have the Canadian night crawlers and African night crawlers. Red wigglers is a type of worm species. It's not just a cute name, although it is a cute name, I guess. Alright, here is another brand of kale. This kale is called Premier Kale. Has nice flat leaves, which is sort of nice. Then my red kale is, of course, that has curly leaves. Here is my blackberries, blooming already. Not quite sure why they're blooming so early, other than we did have some warm days. But they shouldn't be blooming, because I don't think they're going to make it unless we get incredibly warm weather from here on out. There's a little beet that I found the other day and weeded around it. Here's some more onions. I think this is a garlic. I think I did plant some garlic up here. Yep, definitely garlic. A little more dinosaur kale. Here's my largest daikon radish that I have been threatening to dig up and bake, roast in the oven to eat. It's supposed to be really good that way. I haven't done that yet. A lot of people use the daikon radishes, even like commercial organic growers will put those in their fields to break up the soil. Because I saw one guy, he had one that was 3 feet long that he got out of his field. He's a guy that does cover crops. So they'll put the daikon radishes in with their cover crops and then just till it in, and it'll have a nice hole down in the dirt to bring nutrients up and to just loosen up the soil. Okay, like I said, I'll put a link to my seed starting grow room up here in the corner. Actually, I'll put it in that corner, and over in this corner I'll put a link that YouTube says is a video that you will like. Alright, well, I appreciate you making it the whole way to the end here. And again, leave a comment and tell us what you're growing or what you're planning to grow this year, if you're planning to grow anything unusual. My wife always says, why do you grow such weird things? Why don't you just grow common things, ordinary things? I'm like, well, another gardener said we do it because we can. Because we can get more diversity in our garden, more diversity in our diet, and just things are just interesting. It's interesting to grow weird things. So, have a blessed day, and I will go ahead and give you a shot of my kale, and you can listen to the birds for 20 seconds while you pick which of these 2 videos you want to watch. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. See you again real soon.